Wake up and let's go to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I'm here with our co-host Dakota, as always. And we have a super special guest with us. We have Samantha. She is of the Dragon's Lair writing podcast, as well as a LARP master, really excellent writer, and a tarantula owner. And for viewers, not so much the listeners, but viewers watching this, if you have arachnophobia, stay tuned.
There's no way to get over it, I promise.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's my disclaimer. So, Samantha, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. It was busy today, lots of crafting and just stuck in I-5 traffic.
Ooh. Crafting. I like the sound of that. What kind of crafting you been doing?
I've been making some leather armor for Amtgard, which is the LARP group, and I'm not exactly a master. I've only been doing this since 2019, but I like to think I got better at archery. So let me actually grab.
That's a solid enough amount of time. It's definitely.
Yeah, there's like a 15-month break due to COVID.
I'm sure if I found you on the LARP field arena, what do you call it? The LARP.
There's for Amtgard. There's a site called Orc. And then there's the Mork app. It's how we keep track of all our points in each class, any awards, titles, who you're affiliated with, that sort of stuff.
You said an app?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Wow. So
there is an app.
Can they just like come over and tap their phone on their phone and like, here's my stats, bro?
You can sign in that way. That's for sure. You can sign in like that too. Yeah. If somebody else has the admin permissions going on. You just pull up your little God, what are those called? Little scan codes you can do.
Oh, the QR
you
codes.
get
QR codes. Yeah, you can have like a personal QR code that you can just scan. Like, all right, you're clocked in.
You get like actual stat points that like upgrade and level up.
Oh yeah, there are levels. There are 6 levels per class. I'm currently a level 3 archer.
Nice. Okay. I did not know that much went into.
Yeah, there's a whole rule book.
It's like a live action RPG.
So wait, what does it take to get a level?
It depends on the amount of points. There's a minimum amount, and there's a maximum. I'd have to pull up the rules. I have them stashed somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Copy.
So,
is it something you can do in a day?
No, it takes. I think the numbers come up to it takes about a whole year to go from level 1 to level 6.
Oh snap! So do people know your level when you're out there fighting?
Yeah, you declare before a battle game, like the last you two, and it's like, okay, you're clearly an archer, you have the orange sash, what level? I say 3. You're like, okay, it helps to balance the teams out.
Nice, okay. Dang.
What got you into it?
So one of my coworkers at my old job, we kind of started talking about D&D and other tabletop there, and he's like, have you ever heard of LARPing? I'm like, yes. He's like, so down the street we have a park. That's all I needed to hear. I was there that next Sunday.
Nice.
Waiver signed, my persona name all fully worked out, ready to go.
That is so cool. No, I've always wanted to. Never.
I was gonna say ever since the movie Role Models. Have you ever seen?
Oh yeah, I keep hearing that. Yeah, like Role Models got them into it.
I was like, I want to actually go and try that so bad.
So is it a lot like how Role Models portrays it?
Oh, geez, I've only seen clips from Role Models, but it can be like that. Yeah. It really does depend on what group you're with.
Okay.
And even within like a group like Amtgard overall, each individual park can be different.
So is it like different game modes that you can play, like elimination or capture the king or flag or something like that?
Yeah, there's stuff like that. The most common thing you'll find on the field is ditching and ditching lines. Where basically you just get like row on row and just go at each other.
Like a mosh pit? Like a death wall?
Basically. It's kind of like a mosh pit if it rains enough.
I was thinking like Red Rover, and so on. And start like fighting.
No, you gotta think like battle lines from like the Vikings TV show.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's a little bit more like that.
I'm into that.
Yeah, that's what I would want.
I might have to convince my girlfirlriend.
Yeah, the bigger the group,
I have a surprise.
Yeah, if you get a big group to do ditching, it's so much fun. I'm actually going to 2 pretty big events later this year. At the end of August, I have a women's non-binary tournament I'm going to.
Nice.
And then in September, just out of Indianapolis, Indiana, there's an event called Meeting of the Kingdoms, or KEEP as we call it now.
Okay.
It's the largest Amtgard event in the US.
Nice.
Like 4 days. It's big.
Is there anything intense that happens that makes it different from any other event?
They use real weapons.
I was waiting.
No, that's SCA. And if you're like, God,
That's the thing that
SCA.
uses real weapons?
SCA uses real steel. It's all blunted, but yeah, it's real steel.
What?
So yeah, there's a lot more requirements to it too. They're quite a bit more hardcore on the historical accuracy, depending on what kind of thing you're fighting. There's rapier combat, which is cut and thrust. But the more intense one I've seen it's full contact, is what it's called. We're talking people in like full armor going at each other.
Dude.
It is intense.
You've just blown Josh's mind. He's like ready to go get his wife and be like, I'm starting this tomorrow.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. I want to. I would love to.
SCA is more expensive than Amtgard, I'll tell you that right now. Be prepared to drop like at least like $1,000 on a beginning sword.
Just a sword? Oh my god.
The sword.
I have like 2 swords that I can like blunt down.
And I bet
myself.
they're wall hangers that you can't use.
I have
Yeah.
daggers too. I
Now I got like this sword right. See if I can point at it right. Is like
yeah, I see it on the
right
wall.
here.
You can't
Yeah,
use
that's the Witch King of Angmar's sword. It's a wall hanger. It's pretty sharp though.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you can't use that kind of stuff. Plus that's stainless steel. You don't
Wait,
use
where did you get that from? You said the
eBay, $60.
That's it? Hold on, I'm gonna go to Google real quick. Wait.
I got this one. It was made for somebody else, though. I want to get the United Culture one, which is the official Lord of the Rings licensed version. That's more expensive.
So do you see a lot of people cosplaying out there like LARPing?
Oh, there are a lot of cosplayers who also do LARPing. It's a perfect match.
What's the craziest or like coolest cosplay LARPer that you've seen?
Oh, jeez, cosplay LARPer. I haven't
Shut up, I guess
seen.
Jeez.
Okay, so I know there are 2 individuals in our kingdom alone who actually do run around in full plate
Nice.
that they've made themselves.
I feel like I would be so intimidated if I went out there for the first
Oh yeah, you just see this big old dude with just full plate. Yeah, it's just when you know they've made it themselves. It's one of the awards you can get, like crafting awards.
Nice.
So I'm doing this. This is
Nice.
LAR. Not historically accurate before anyone gets on my case. I know this.
I mean, it still looks really cool.
Yeah, this is, so as an archer, I'm allowed 2 points of armor. This is 50% overlay and really thick leather too.
Yeah, it
French.
looks like a lot of handiwork has gone into that.
Oh yeah, this is all individually laced with paracord. I have cut, beveled, and
How long,
burnished
how
every
long does
edge.
it take for you to do that?
I was a lot faster of it relacing it. But this took me a good month or so on just the panels. Getting all it done. I hope to get it all done by August so I can wear this to the Morrigan tournament.
That'd be cool.
Dude.
That'd be super cool.
Yep, I've recently put on the shoulders so that way the weight is properly distributed. And then I'm attaching the buckles on the sides so I
Have
can
you
play
weighed
test it tomorrow.
Have you weighed that whole jacket yet?
No. Here's the thing with armor. When it's made for you, the weight is distributed properly. So it feels like a second skin. Like you can look at videos of people doing parkour and rolling around in full plate.
Dang.
And that's because the
Really?
armor was made for him. It's made to fit you. That way the weight is distributed right. You're not. A lot of people like to point towards tournament armor, which is the. Actually, I have a good image of some. I picked this up at a geek shop.
I didn't even know Knight's parkour. Like I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
be
was-
looking this up right after this.
I'm like, that's insane. There's so
A
much
lot of
I don't know
people-
about this.
I like to point towards this kind of armor. I like to call this the frog mouth helm and all this. You're not wearing this in an actual war.
No.
It's way too heavy. And that man is jousting, so he's on a horse. Big old horse to do that.
Are there ever any horses there?
Yeah, I was
Is
about to
it
say.
No, Amtgard does not do anything with horses. SCA might. But there are a whole bunch of other different things you could do for jousting.
would they
Like any
consider
animals?
like miniature horses and pool noodles?
Or like
You wouldn't be able to ride a miniature horse?
If I was a druid out there, would I be able to have like animals with me? Like I bring a bear.
I have to look at the spells. I don't run any heavy spells, but we do have druids.
So how does that? So you said you're an archer. So do you get like abilities and different things as you level up that you can use?
Let me grab my arrows because those are the big thing with archer.
Yeah, I didn't realize how in depth this was. I'm like,
oh, it's very, very
so
in
cool.
depth. So this is my bow.
Oh, that's dope.
This was Amazon for $80.
Wow.
I am lucky it was actually 35 pounds. Actually, not 35, 20, not 20, no, 30. So this is a 30-pound bow. The maximum is 35. Traditional only, no compounds.
I have a compound bow.
So you do actually have to hold it. Not very long, though.
That sucker's
Let me get
crazy
my
too. Like
arrow.
85 pound.
Yeah, we have one too. I don't know if it's a compound, but I think it's just a regular one. I don't know. I have no idea.
You gotta be careful too, man. Like, if you let it go, and like the wire like hits your
Oh
arm.
yeah, we got the padding and everything because that's what the dude told us, and we were like, oh,
Nope.
okay.
This is what I shoot people with.
Oh man, what are those tennis balls?
Awesome.
No, tennis balls would hurt.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I would,
tennis balls
like,
are so
the goal
hard.
is not to bruise the other player.
Is it like tissue paper or something like
No,
that?
so this is a gamma ball, so it's a foam ball.
Oh, okay.
On this, it's compressed a little bit. There's a crap ton of foam all the way down up to here. It's modular. So I took some PEX pipe, cut it, then it's penny capped, and there's like a little foam cushion on top of that, and then it's the gamma ball strapped down, and then it's all the foam. And then it needs a cover, and then just you cover with some electrical tape. And then it has to be labeled. So let me get this on. So Sarka, that's my persona name, is Sarka Volsung. You can actually look me up on Google.
Ooh,
And then if it's a specialty arrow, you have to label what it is.
nice.
I use my labeler and some packaging tape to keep that clean because my Sharpie doesn't stick too well on this. This is like cheap Hobby Lobby
Dude, that's awesome.
bandana thing. So red is destruction, yellow is pinning, green is poison, purple is suppression, and gray is phase.
Nice.
And you get them as you level up. And then your regular arrows could be any other color or pattern. And I used Guy Fieri approved flame pattern
Awesome.
for mine.
So because they're labeled, does it happen like when you shoot them, they're like pelted with it? They're like, hold on. They pick it up. They gotta read it.
No.
Yep,
So
nope,
what I
you
do
killed me.
is that
Yeah, that's it. I'm done.
maybe get hit so many more times after that. No. So basically, I would take it, and I can't move when I'm shooting. That's one of the things. It's the same thing with spellcasting, unless it's ambulant, which means you can move and do it. So I take my arrow, I draw it, I hit the yell, pinning arrow! And then whoever gets nailed with that is pinned for 30 seconds, they can't move.
See, I'd probably be really bad at this because I would like not be focused on what anybody's saying. I would just like give.
Well, especially with the spellcasters, some of them talk so fast that you think they're speaking in tongues.
That's crazy. Josh is the person that's running around. No, that didn't touch me. That hit my
That didn't
pants,
count. Oh, trust me.
I didn't feel it.
That's just my armor. It doesn't count.
Yeah, basically, it's like armor point taken and whatnot if you do get hit. I don't wear any armor until tomorrow. I'll be wearing that, so I got 2 points of armor on my chest and back.
Nice.
So there's like refs and stuff the whole time.
Yeah, we got Reeves.
So what happens if somebody gets in like an argument like that where they think something
The
happened?
Reeve settles it.
Okay. Nice.
They'll just
Should
be
be
taken
like
out and the Reeve will settle it. But we're all usually pretty cool about it. We all know the rules. You just be patient with the new people.
It should be
They
like
just
a
have to
ring,
know what's legal to be hit with.
like a ring, a fight to the death. Whoever wins, like.
You can't leave. So
That's just 3. Yeah.
You said you've been doing it for 2 years now. So
Technically 3, but it feels more like 2 with the amount of extra I actually put into it after COVID.
yeah. So with that being said, what's the coolest thing you've done on the battlefield that you can come up with or remember right now?
I've had some close shots with some people.
Yeah.
You're technically not to aim. You're not supposed to aim for the face, but sometimes things happen.
Oops, it's coming for your head.
I know. It's like sometimes you look at you like, oh.
Sorry.
I got the better stories of ones that weren't my shots, but I once got a girl, like it flicked her ponytail. She was like,
Whoa.
don't take that. Do not take that. What's really legendary with archers is the crotch shot.
Yeah.
The joke is you're not a real archer until you've made the cross shot, and I have made the cross shot.
Nice.
Butters from South Park was onto something.
Yeah, the best story I've heard, though, was Unar is another one of our players. He's the foremost archer on the field now. He's level 5.
Nice.
And he once nailed a guy, so it was a hill. So what happened ended up with, or he aimed for a guy. It actually leveled out. It hit him in the crotch, and the guy had a vasectomy the day before.
Oh no!
So he was out.
Honestly, that's his fault. Like, who gets
Who's
a
out there?
vasectomy and then LARPs the next day? Like,
Should have won a cup, and most
Yeah, I was
people don't
gonna
remember
say.
that. It's like,
That's
if there are archers on the
dedication.
field, it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
that's dedication. So,
What about your stats? You said the app. Does the app keeps like all your
Yeah.
stats and stuff?
I can pull it up. Oh, good, my
So
phone's not gonna die. That's really good.
does it keep track of like your kills, deaths, assists, like stuff like that, or
There's no win-loss ratio.
okay?
We're not that intense, unless it's in tournaments.
You're
Then
not
that
that
does
intense.
matter. Especially if you're a warrior and you're going for that particular knighthood, you keep track of your wins, especially how many you've gotten in a row. It's the most intense way to get knighthood. I'm gonna go for the crafting way.
I'm missing
I'll just be
out on
making
life.
a lot of stuff.
I didn't know there was real life RPG stuff I could be doing.
I know, it's great. Role models is real.
Like,
I know, apparently.
you know, the video games are cool, but dude, if I can,
Did
like,
actually do it, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, cool. So actually I might need to turn down my brightness.
I want to go for the one though that like you can leave with some bruises, like we're going paintballing.
Alright, so this is the app. It's called Mork. It has my name. It shows that I have my waiver signed. It's good for a year. I've paid my dues.
Dudes, holy shit, this is a unionized thing?
No, dues are basically what give you voting rights on the basis. It also contributes to the park funds, which is mostly what it is.
Okay, cool.
It's $12 6 months.
Oh, you can be Paragon or Rogue. That's a thing.
Yeah, so paragoning. Oh, geez, I'm not too sure about paragoning. But basically, you've shown very exceptional skill in that class. Then you get Paragon, and you just get to wear fancier stuff.
So
So
you
there's-
don't have to stay as one. Like
No,
class?
You can level up all of these classes. With the exception of Anti-Paladin and Paladin, you need to be a... Oh, geez. I think you need all 10 orders of Warrior
What is
in
an
order to be able to play those
anti-paladin?
classes.
Yeah. What is an anti-paladin?
Oh, the Anti-Paladin?
Like a
It's really
black mage warrior?
The Anti-Paladin is really, really mean.
Ooh, okay.
Just
So if you
in
see-
your face kind of stuff. And then Paladin gets more like
Anti-Paladin,
supportive
so-
healing stuff.
Okay, so like a berserker or something.
Yeah, the Berserk ability is a thing. Barbarian gets that. It's nasty.
Oh, okay.
It's nasty. Color is basically everyone else. All the supporting cast. Peasant is a class.
Really?
hmm
And how much can the peasant actually do?
Yeah, how much is the
You don't get very much at all. I think you can get just like a dagger.
like,
And that's
don't
it.
wreck me, I'm a peasant.
We have a dedicated peasant. He's great. He's fantastic. So yeah, going through the list, it's Archer, Assassin, Barbarian, Bard, Druid, Healer, Monk, Monster, Peasant, Reeve, Scout, Wizard, and Warrior, and then Paladin, Anti-Paladin.
Wow.
I think I'd be a wizard more so I can do like the little
Have fun with those
wizard
spell
rap.
lists. But we have an app for that too.
There's
Yeah,
an
no,
app
I'd
for
be
that.
there like,
Oh yeah, we have people with their phones going like,
Hold on one
Okay,
second.
this eventually you just give up and memorize them.
Yeah. I mean, you
And a lot of our players have them just straight memorized. I don't have too much to memorize other than my reloading incantation and my mend. I'm still working on memorizing the reach, the charge one. The reloading one is an absolute pain though because it doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, I'd probably want to do like a warrior. I'd probably be out there with a shield and sword, and I'd be.
Yeah, that's one of the best ones to start with.
Yeah.
But it is also, if you go that far, one of the more expensive classes.
Okay.
If you really want to wear armor.
if I
Yeah, I'm
showed
gonna be a
up
fast warrior.
with like a nerf sword dripped in like poison, but it's clear so they wouldn't know. what happens?
As a for stuff like that, it's
Not like
spell balls.
poison, but like maybe like poison ivy or something. So like they had that rash there the next few days. Like they'll remember me.
No, there are better ways to make it remember you, and that's using balls.
They'll remember you, and they'll remember not to let you come back.
Oh, for sure.
In fact, your picture will be up on the park.
Yeah.
It's like just he's on the blacklist. Don't let him in.
Well, I mean, you know, it's worth a shot. I think that's creativity right there.
Definitely creative. Definitely not legal, but definitely creative.
Well, aside from that, you from all the wonderful LARPing, you're a very talented writer, and Dakota here, he's actually a self-published author. I'll let him take the writing question because I barely.
We talked about LARP and SCA, how you want to use real steel.
Yeah, I barely know anything about writing.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up just writing creative stories here and there. I actually wasn't too big on it other than with my grandpa, and then I kind of went towards sports and movies, video games, all of that. And I actually wasn't really that big of a reader as a kid either. So I'm sure you probably were. Most of the other people I have talked to that are writers were big readers growing up, and I'm like,
I actually have a really funny story about the whole reading thing. So I don't know if you guys have gone through this, but like the 6th graders will go and teach like the 1st graders and like really other little kids how to read.
Dude, I hate
doing that. So I remember having that done to me, and I was looking at this book, and I'm like, there's no way that's what it is. That is not cat. No. So I hated learning how to read, but once I got into it and I found stories I liked, and then it snowballed. I was reading stuff like Lord of the Rings in middle school.
Yeah,
On my own, I bring the whole big old tome. I actually have that big old tome on that bookshelf there on the bottom.
Nice. I had
big old 1 volume that was like being like shilled out as marketing for when the movies were coming out.
I had Return of the King in 5th grade. Anytime we had to read it, I remember just opening the book and staring at the pages and being like, why did my dad buy me this?
Where's the picture?
This is the 3rd book. Where's the 1st one?
Yeah, like, how am I supposed to read this right now? Like, yeah. So my journey to becoming a writer is a lot different. But so, I mean, saying that, what was your journey to becoming a writer like as far as growing up to where you are now?
Oh, geez. I lived in my head. And it was a problem for school. It wasn't a problem for me. I loved reading all the time. It was the best thing. It was the best thing ever. And oh boy. But it wasn't until about 8th grade where I really did decide to become a writer. So 13, serious moment of introspection, where I was taking this seriously, nobody else was. They couldn't really say, no, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up anymore. Just like, what are your odds of that, kid? You got to think a bit more seriously.
Right.
Like, okay, I want to be a writer. Sam, why? There's no money in that. Until I eventually came up with like editor, $60K starting a year. And that's when they shut up.
There you go.
Now, often I got the question of, so you're going to be a teacher. I wouldn't be able to do it. I like teaching, just not in that setting where I'm told, like, follow this curriculum. And I'm like, I barely learned anything from this. What do you think they're going to learn anything from this?
Yeah.
Especially creative writing. Oh, that's a whole other tangent, creative writing courses. But,
I liked creative writing. That was because my teacher was like the good kind of crazy.
I mean, if you just let me do what I want to do, you'll get some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to like lock me into this, like if I'm not interested, it's gonna end badly, mostly for me and my grades.
I've always wanted to write a children's book.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I can't
probably
dumb down my ideas enough for children's books.
I've got
same.
I've got crazy ones. I'm not going to say them because I don't want them taken.
Yeah, everybody has that fear when they start writing out. It's like, do I share this with other people, or are they just going to take it? What are my intellectual property protections?
Yeah, that whole thing is crazy. I had to do so much research on that too, and I was just like,
I know.
I'm going for it. Here we go.
At this point, I just determined, like, if you have the original documents, you can prove it in court.
Yeah, that's what I saw too, and I was like, all right, then I'm good. We got it.
But what constitutes original documents anymore?
It's got the like IP information and stuff on it.
It's like you have like the timestamps on the documents, the whole document history. Heck, even if you have like the original notes and whatnot that you have lying around, like I have manila folders right over here. It's like all the original notes, and then like I have the notes in my Google Drive as well.
Speaking of notes, how is that for your creative process? Like, do you brainstorm and write down a bunch of notes before?
I love legal pads. Like they are the best thing for just writing crap out on this thing. Nice. And I also use it for my essays too, so it's really good for college. Just work out my thought process of how I'm breaking down this one subject into 8 pages.
See, that's great. I hated the brainstorming process in school, like the whole bubbles and you write stuff and brainstorm out. Like I hated.
I can never do that.
Yeah, I was
mind mapping.
I was the
mind maps. Yeah, it's like I can see how they're useful for some things, but like now I need to scribble it out and just have all the lines crisscrossing because I understand it and nobody else will.
Yeah. I mean, any notes I've taken, they've always been hard to read, but I was never big on that. Like when I write, I just get an idea and I start writing, and that's kind of how I go with it. Is it just goes and
yeah, that's how I started too. But eventually, I discovered outlining, and outlining really helps with it. Like I'm scripting my podcast because it keeps me on track, which is the big thing about that. And that took a few years though. I would just write crap out. I have a whole literal shoebox of all my old stuff.
Nice, that's awesome.
And I look back at it, I'm like, crap, I did fall into that teen YA demographic, didn't I? The shame.
I hope no houses around you are burning down, by the way.
Oh, did you hear that? Yeah, I'm next to the highway. Like, Yelm is right there. I can point to it. And yeah, it's stuff happens. We're next to some retirement apartments as well.
Oh, yeah. I used to live by a few and always see just every day, really, like at least one visit from the ENT.
All check-ins and whatnot, yeah. But hey, a good thing about living next to the elderly and being close to hospital is that you're priority on the power grid when it goes out.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at the border where it just cuts off and says "fuck you" or something. I don't know, like
it's like, yeah, you're close enough, but not quite. So no.
Yeah, they still cut me out. Bullshit.
So I'm sure there's probably been plenty of books that have inspired your writing, but is there anything other than books that have inspired you to write, like LARPing or video games or movies or in TV shows or anything like that?
Mostly academic research, actually.
Ooh, okay.
I have this big research paper I want to do either for my bachelor's or my master's.
Nice.
So now that I've switched majors, it'll change probably a little bit. It's honestly like I needed to do something else. Like I've said this before to you guys in the Discord that I've burned out after 10 years.
Yeah.
So I just needed to do a full reevaluation, and I actually ended up switching majors mostly because I took an ancient and medieval art history class. And I've always been a big history buff. I get that from my mom. So we talk about European history all the freaking time sometimes.
I love history. History is awesome.
It's just really cool. And like my favorite period of time is the 11th century and before, because that's when like a lot of the big major conflicts were going on, but particularly Battle of Hastings, 1066, when William the Conqueror basically cemented his power, his foothold in England. By winning that battle, he took the throne of England and changed it as a major world power forever.
It just blew my mind because I can barely remember my own fucking birthday, so that was impressive.
Oh, I actually do forget about my birthday quite a bit to like the week before, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
See, I was like...
But I can memorize all these different historical dates and just go right into things. Like I'm actually working on it's all personal research on Varus's Lost Legions, which was like the biggest Roman defeat in Germania.
Wow.
And 3 whole legions were gone. And they didn't find their bodies for another 5 years.
Dude,
you know,
they didn't dare cross the Rhine after that for a while.
See, any of my death address episodes I do now, I'm going to send you a message and be like, hey, we're doing so-and-so. Can you tell me about it?
Like, Sam, I need some stuff on this period of time. Like, I've got you.
I was like, I love history. Then she said all those quotes, and I was like, Okay, she loves history. I like history because of the reasons that I get to learn this.
Yeah, I like studying all these very particular world-changing battles. They're aren't quite as popular in the mainstream consciousness. Especially since like a lot of people, it's the more recent stuff. So I say World War I and World War II are recent, but those are big events and much more in the consciousness of the world than say those battles that were going on, like the Teutoburg massacre, the Battle of Hastings. Just kind of bring those more to the fore because they're utterly fascinating. There's still a lot of mysteries. Like for art history, I actually do want to write a paper on I keep mispronouncing it, the Bayeux Tapestry. It was created a year or two after the Battle of Hastings, and it depicts the entire conquest. However, the end panel is missing.
The ink panel?
Yeah, the end panel, the end of the whole story of this like 70-foot tapestry is missing. So it's this little Da Vinci Code mystery going on to figure out what's wrong with it. Though it is commonly believed that it's just William taking the throne, but it's missing, and I like that mystery to it.
There's the mystery in history. All right, the mystery of history is always the best.
All right.
And we're still trying to find the bodies of the Teutoburg Forest massacre. Like 3 whole legions, that's a lot of people. We're still trying to find the bodies because they were buried, supposedly.
It would be like the terracotta soldiers, right? They were all just hidden.
Yeah, just hidden and just found, and then holy crap! Except we'd probably find just a crap ton of bones. Well, maybe bones. Yeah, we'd probably find bones.
Or there could be.
But that's a lot of armor that's dead. That's a lot of animals that were buried.
Man,
I always feel smart until I hear people talk about history. Like it's like just events that happened in their day that they know about. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. See, I like learning about stuff, so I always am just the one that's in the back, just listening, saying random stuff here and there.
Yeah, I'm just glad that I think that I look smart. That way when I open my mouth, everything just falls in line. Nobody immediately runs off at a first impression.
I black out, just blurt a bunch of words and come back, and people are like, wow, that was really smart. And I'm like, what?
It's like 1 hour later. Okay, so give that to me again, but in English.
Well, what did I say?
What happened? Did anybody record it? So going back to your writing real quick, when you I know it's something that I've done when I write characters or create different characters for the stories. Do real people that or come in contact with your daily life, or even just as somebody that you've randomly seen, do they ever impact or have that personality into the characters?
Yeah, my last job I was just a cashier, so I'd see all the names and I'd just be like, okay, this name is cool, this is a nice last name, I'm probably gonna use that. Some descriptions, some not, mostly off the top of my head. Concept art. Concept art is fantastic.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's fun. Super fun.
Especially when you can't draw it yourself. Well, for sure.
All right, Josh, we'll get off the writing stuff, I guess, and go back to some questions you can ask.
Oh, it's fine. I was enjoying the huge history lesson that I'm not gonna lie, I forgot most of already. Because Varus's Lost Legions is a huge controversial subject too. So with that, with you knowing so much history, are you into conspiracies at all? Or do you just
history what?
History conspiracies?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of spicy stuff in history.
Spicy stuff.
There is some tea in the history department that some people don't even know about. Especially in the academic circles, especially sources, and you have no contemporary sources. There are no contemporary sources of the Teutoburg Forest massacre. The earliest one is 50 years after, or maybe some survivors were around, but everybody in Rome had an agenda when they wrote about it.
Wow.
So it's anything that is non-biased is basically impossible to get a hold of. So you really it's rough researching that particular battle.
Sounds like our future.
Look at 2016 and just look at that and go, yeah, this is a really embarrassing part of history for America.
Yeah,
because none of it's going to be non-biased.
We'll end up back where we started and go through it again.
Yeah, it'll be 4020 and they'll be looking back what a bunch of horse shit. What is going on? Why can't we find the right information? Everything just says fake news.
Fake news.
Just like fake news. Like, what are these archaic hashtags even mean?
Yeah.
What is this coin with a Doge on it? What's a Doge?
What is Bitcoin? They actually thought about decentralized banking.
So
Who knows? It's gonna be crazy in 1,000 years.
Bro,
Oh, yeah.
Heck, everything's been crazy in the last century. Imagine 1,000 years from now.
I always think of that movie Idiocracy. I'm like, it's gonna happen. Like that was like a history lesson that nobody listened to.
Rondo.
Yeah.
I just like people to have access to information and just being informed. That way they can at least try not to make stupid decisions.
True.
Yeah,
Well put.
that's true.
Yeah.
So with all your writing, you're now starting a podcast, Dragon's Lair Writing.
Dragon's Lair writing, yeah, that was about a 2-year just kind of think and sit about it.
Nice.
Because it was originally going to be like a YouTube channel, so I was ready to buy like some cool camera equipment, maybe a green screen, or just really reset my room. But like, I also didn't want a whole crap ton of technology to carry around because I do move around a lot.
Oh, okay.
For sure. So the most I carry around now is just the good microphone that is not being used right now. Because it's messing with the audio
It
again.
messes with the audio, yep.
It's the audio interface. I'm still trying to figure out that mystery.
So tell us about your podcast.
So this basically has now started as myself rediscovering and just going through the reasons of why I got into writing so hard in the first place. And to kind of share with people my experiences that I've had, because it's 10 years. I may not be some super successful published author. That's a lot of knowledge I've learned. I have a lot of reference books that I've read. I've tried out a whole wide range of techniques. And I still find it's still useful knowledge for people. I think especially for young writers who don't realize that, yeah, going into hardcore is great, but burnout is real. In the writing process.
It was our last guest we had that said if you're getting burnt out doing what you do, like you're doing something right, maybe to some degree. I think there was an explanation with that.
She said it way better than you just said it, but I think it was along those lines.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I butchered it. It's fair.
But it was along the lines. It was something like that, and it was you're doing it right, but it was like it's important to still like take a step back and like evaluate.
Gotta pace yourself. You gotta do other things, and I was like straight writing for 10 years.
Yeah,
all my techniques and ideas were getting better and better. I was slowly losing my drive. I get excited, I talk fast, and then I'm speaking in tongues.
Yeah. So I was gonna say we have an entrepreneur friend who he's pretty successful, and one of the first things he told me when I met him and was talking about the stuff I was working on, he was like, "Don't just settle for one thing." He's like, "The best thing is to have your hand in a number of different like activities or."
Yeah, I have multiple hobbies for sure, which is why I got into Amtgard, because like that's not just like combat sport. It's also like the community, being invested in that. I actually I still need to be technically voted in. I am now part of the monarchy of my group. I'm the prime minister.
Nice.
So basically, I just mostly handle other people's points and the park money.
That's pretty cool, though. Still, that sounds important. So.
It is very important. It's better than going straight into Baron and trying to manage everything.
Dang.
Oh, for sure.
It's about the same.
Yeah, I've been doing Amtgard, and then I've also been doing Warhammer 40K.
Oh,
that just
Getting back into that. Let me see. This is my best. It's one of my best models. So this is my Corvus Black Star.
you hand painted that?
I hand painted this.
Holy shit, that's good.
I have a whole painting kit and everything. Where's my Moloch?
Is that like plastic or ivory?
Yep, this is plastic.
Okay.
And I do not have any resin models because I don't have any models that big.
Okay.
So this is my Moloch. This is for my Tyranids. I started with Tyranids.
And you painted that too?
I painted this too. This guy took forever.
I was
My
about to
Tyranids
ask
take a
how long did
while.
it take, because that looks insane. The detail, I would lose my mind.
That's really good shading
I
and
would
like
not.
everything.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
The whole technique. I've been upping my highlighting ability, and I've taken a pause on the Tyranids because that takes a while, and my Death Watch is a lot faster.
Dang.
I've also got who else am I painting here? A lot of veterans. I don't have
no talent.
I have one Primaris model actually.
We do have talent, just not this much.
I haven't.
Oh, it takes a lot of time. Like I've had to come back from carpal tunnel in both hands.
I
Oh,
feel
shit.
like
So yeah, I've had carpal tunnel.
your
And
wife, Josh.
so this guy right here. So I bought him for $20 off a friend. So this is a Primaris chaplain.
That's pretty cool.
This is my first time using a whole bunch of new techniques. My first time doing lettering on the pauldron.
That looks awesome.
Some more different techniques. Like I'm really super
It's
proud
such
of
a
that leg right
tiny-
there. Like the highlight on that leg, I'm super proud of.
Yeah, for real, I would be.
That's such a tiny figurine and so
No
detailed.
way. No
Super
way. That's insane.
Yeah, I've also been getting a little bit into. Actually, I could probably show you right there. So a little bit into freehand. So this is Forge Dragons. This is my custom chapter.
Ah.
I can send you guys the actual what it's supposed to look like, but it's like close enough. So a little dragon head breathing fire on an anvil.
And that's similar to your podcast symbol there.
I use it across multiple things.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, like I can actually scooch this over.
Yeah, you have a really dope look.
My banner for Amtgard.
That looks cool.
Yeah,
The dragon head. Like dragons are everywhere. Dragons are my bread and butter.
Hey, dragons are cool, so.
Do you have one?
You have a
I
dragon?
have multiple dragons.
Real
Really?
dragon.
I can break them all out too.
I would love to see a dragon.
Wait, is this like some Khaleesi, Queen of the Dragons? We're gonna see some
You can see the dragon on top of that bookshelf.
Wait, are
That's
you bringing
fancy.
out Charmander right now? Or Charizard?
I do not have Charmander.
Charizard. Dude, we're just gonna see a dragon fly by real quick, like.
I mean, like now, I could probably CGI
All the
it.
plushies. Okay. So I have this one.
He's vicious.
Looks like Figment.
It's so fluffy.
He does look fluffy.
Can't resist. This one I got off at Target.
Oh, nice.
Big old plushy one there. This one was also Target because one must also have their two-headed dragons.
That's cool.
Can never go without
I won this throwing darts at a carnival.
Hey,
Nice.
I only missed 2.
that's where that archery skill was coming in, right?
Oh no, dart throwing and knife throwing in general, it's a much different way to throw it.
There was such form in those.
I know,
fingers,
that was
Yeah, it's little just, and then that's when you let go and just flicks. It's not
Okay.
actually supposed to spin.
So besides that, real quick, back to LARPing because I didn't ask this question. Besides the like bow that you use for archery, do you have any like daggers or other weapons that you carry?
I do not have any melee weapons. I'm having some made for me by a friend of mine who insisted.
Yeah, what happens if you lose your bow on the battlefield? You gotta have something.
Oh, jeez. Yep. So you can imagine how often I run away from people with swords. That was the first year.
You have to be quick and fast when you're an archer.
I usually have, quick and fast is always good, regardless of what class you're running. But now I use a short
Okay.
that I have one loaned for me until mine come in from my friend. I've been going to fighters practice, which actually gets me points in Warrior by going to that.
Nice.
I can level that up. And I get better at fighting in melee because the tournament I'm going to in August, the Morrigan tournament, that's melee. That is single short sword, Florentine short sword, which is dual wielding, and then sword and board, which is short. At least for this tournament, it's short and shield.
Sword and board. I'm like, I don't know. It didn't even like register with me. I was like, what's a board? And then I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, done. Shoot.
It's the lingo. You're learning a lot of Amtgard lingo today.
Bored? Like somebody's out there with a plank running around.
I mean, you can have that straight plank shield as long as it's legal. We're not going to care.
I'm not gonna lie. I would make like a
Plank
giant
from-
cosplay shield of like Plank from Ed, and Eddie.
That's what I was about to say.
You could. You absolutely could.
I would just be a giant like pop culture reference to a bunch of
Every
different
time.
things.
Every
That-
time.
A lot of people do that. Yeah, there's a couple of things. I plan to actually run some of my Dark Souls stuff in Amtgard. Like, I want to make the Dark Souls 3 Dragon Slayer spear.
Okay.
I love that sucker.
That's
My
awesome.
friend Luke, who's making the weapons, the swords for me, also wants to make Grass Crest.
What is that?
Yeah, I was like that
Grass
one.
Crest is one of the best shields in Dark Souls, especially Dark Souls 2.
I say I didn't get very far in Dark Souls because it was
I sucked
so hard
at that. Yeah, absolutely sucked at that game because I'm
good,
like,
scrub.
I'm like,
you scrub.
You're good.
I'm the running and
If I can do it, you can do it.
For real,
No,
probably.
I
I
don't
didn't
pace
want to take the
myself.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing.
I
Say
don't
I'm
pace
not-
myself.
I'm not patient anymore, but I'm sneaking around anyways. So I don't have an excuse. I just didn't put the time in. That's really where it comes down.
The other thing I suck at is the PvP in Dark Souls.
I didn't even know.
I can do everything else but the PvP, so I hate getting invaded. Because it's just like, oh boy. Alright, where's the nearest cliff I could jump off of? Because I'll just get banished.
Yeah,
I'm already dead, you can't get me.
I'm so glad though. Like now that I'm seeing and thinking about it, that you have light in your blinds right now, because it does look like we are now doing this in the morning. Like,
Oh, I know, right? And it's actually like almost 7. That's the west side of my room.
that's still pretty bright for.
Don't tell. It's 7 in the morning. That's what she meant.
7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I do usually wake up at 7 in the morning to go jogging 3 miles 3 days a week. I want to build up my endurance so I can last longer running away from people with swords.
Oh
There
man.
you go. You got to train.
See that's where I would die. I'm so out of shape. Like the peasant would come up, jab.
Well, that was me.
Oh,
I may be stick thin, but I had like no muscle, no endurance. I'd be out after like a battle game or 2.
Is it ever like the crazy anime person out there that's like running around like Naruto, like teleporting? And you're like,
Oh yeah,
"What?
yeah. If somebody does that,
How did
yeah.
you
If somebody does the
get
Naruto run constantly, I mean, I got told that if I brought my Dark Souls loadout, I'd have to do the rolling dodge.
Can
I'd
you
have to do that, and I'm like, cool. As long as I'm not wearing my quiver and I won't snap my shaft, we're good.
Can you shoot like Roman candles at people if you're a wizard?
No, you throw spell balls.
I guess solar.
There's
flares
little
in the
foam
air.
balls covered in cloth, tied off, and you throw them.
And
Like
if
that.
you miss, your spell
You
misses.
miss. Yeah.
Like
Gotta
that.
hit.
So can I use a football instead so I'm a little more accurate?
No.
Only level 10.
I mean, we could shape it like a football, but it can't actually be a football.
I'm a sports wizard, so
And then again, at that point, it'd be considered a throwy.
a throwy. So he's kicking a soccer ball, then shoots a basket. I got you.
Yeah, there are rules. My arrows, my sorcery arrows, which are, the nice little specialty ones. They have the engulfing quality, so even if I hit your cloth right here, like your sleeve, it still counts because it's engulfing,
That's
which
So
is really great.
You just light them on fire, basically.
With the normal ones, we like to assume so.
So, all right, back to I have so many questions still for it. So, like, when you hit somebody and they die, do they act like they die, like in role model?
Yeah, you go dead,
Like,
and you
they're
just walk off
But
to
do
the
you get
spawn
anybody
point.
That's like the extreme of like, no.
Oh yeah, you can actually do that for extra points. Like if we have like a heavy game object, which means you walk, you're just like,
Josh, don't go. Stay by my side while I die. Hold on.
I know my best death. So this is gosh, she's no longer at the park. She moved to the East Coast, the trader. She was one of the other archers. She usually ran druid with bow. She actually accidentally nailed me in the forehead. So I'm like, okay, I saw it coming. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to dodge that. So I just went down with it, and I just collapsed. Like I took it like a champ, and everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm good." And everyone gave her shit
Still
for like,
dead, but good.
Still dead, but I'm good.
I'm dead for sure, but I'm still good.
Little winded, but
I needed to take out the rest of that game because, like, oh, that hit for sure.
Yeah.
No bruises, but you feel that for sure.
Play it
They were-
off cool.
They gave her crap for doing that, and she's like, trial by fire. If you're not paying attention, you
go.
will get nailed, and you learn quickly. So the best thing to do as an archer is that you get the people who aren't paying attention have their back turned to you.
Man.
It's their mistake.
I mean, see, I want to like make a whole savage LARPing, like no
Yeah.
rules. I mean, obviously
Well,
there's
you'd
gonna be
have- yeah.
some.
Well, there have to be rules. There have to be waivers and whatnot.
Like a
Definitely,
gladiator.
yeah.
Yeah, from what I've heard, Belagarth is a little more intense than Amtgard.
Bellegarde? That
we're
sounds like
saying this-
Bellator.
We're saying this, Josh, and we're so out of shape that we'd be like, let's do it, and we go, and then the other people would probably just like murder us.
Dude,
I mean, one of our larger
I
individuals
mean-
lost like 45 pounds over COVID, and he's like a speed demon now. Like he lost like half my weight.
That's
Damn.
crazy.
over those 15 months. He's like, oh, dude, he's usually a really good warrior, but like,
I'd have to do a pretty big training. I'd have to do a training montage to be able to.
Just a training montage.
I don't know, man. I think it would be a good, fun way to get fit. I'll get my ass beat. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. You will get your ass beat, but you will learn just as quickly. Like, with Melee.
Yeah.
Geez, I might still have them.
It's really good to believe in yourself, but like, come on, dude, be realistic.
Okay, so the bruises are still kind of there. I had some bruises from last week across here and here. It's like I wasn't holding my guard properly, so of course I kept getting nailed. And I totally deserve it too. Sometimes you just got to get burned, and then you figure out, okay, yeah, guard.
I do feel like I'd probably learn more hands-on being there than trying to.
It's all very hands-on too. It's like with all the combat, with all the spells. You're kind of on your own.
I make up my own spells.
Tornado, Sharknado.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it'd be totally impressive if you memorize the longest spells in the game.
Is it like onomatopoeia, Zappadia?
Oh, I can pull them up. I found the rule book.
Yeah, like what
turns you into Mary Poppins.
Yeah, we're about to go into version 9, but we're still playing version 8. It won't be for like another year or two.
What is like the longest spell possible?
Longest spell, I'm looking for it. That's Resurrect. Song of Freedom is annoying.
So are there like some cool setups for the battlefield? Do you get like to fight in castles or like random stuff that people...
Yeah, it's typically cones. Like if you get like a row of cones, it's like, okay, this is a wall. You cannot fire spells or shoot through it. You have to go around them. So a lot of it is just straight up imagination because we don't have big old props.
See, you know,
I promise to send pictures from Keep, because I'm sure they'll have some cool setups for there. Because it's a whole fairgrounds. It's state fairgrounds.
You should go to like a paintball or laser tag arena and see if you could like rent it out and do a LARPing thing there.
Yeah, you could do a LARPing thing at a paintball arena.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Let's see. That's Resurrect.
Got some crazy.
Pretty long.
Some what?
I got some crazy paintball fields by us.
Rear Undead Mania.
I bet, man.
I'm sure I can find them. Yeah, those might be the 2 long ones. Yeah. So I'll read off the Resurrect for you.
Okay.
Sword cut, spear stab, mace smash, arrow jab. Let the white light of healing descend upon thee. Let the white light of healing stop thy spilling blood. Let the white light of healing mend thy bones. Let the white light of healing close thy wounds. Let the white light of healing restore thy vigor. The white light of healing hath resurrected thee. And let's see, how many times do you say it? Don't you just say it the once?
And that's like to bring somebody back?
That's the one that brings somebody back to life.
Is it like Dragon Ball Z where if you see somebody doing that, you have to let them finish, or can you like kill them mid?
Oh, you can totally interrupt them. It's encouraged to do so. Like, so my suppression arrow, I'll be getting at level 4, which is my next arrow, my next level and arrow.
Do you have to read it at a certain speed, or can somebody like...
I told you, some of them read it so fast, it's like they're speaking in tongues. But just clearly enough, you go like, oh, resurrection. You know, with my suppression arrow, if I nail them, no spells for 30 seconds. Wow. Like, it is crazy.
So like crazy tactics. This is it's literally a real live RPG, man.
This is real life RPG. Like, we're hoping to get some cool effects done for the YouTube channel. Like, it's like a whole RPG setup, like choose your class.
After you shoot your arrow, do you go and pick it up, or do you have a bunch throughout that game that you can use?
Oh, you fill your quiver. The most common one to run is like 12 to 15 arrows in a quiver, depending on the size of the quiver. Some people do the back and hip quiver, so it's just like so many arrows.
Can you only use your arrows that have your name on it, or are you able to pick somebody else's arrow up?
If arrow sharing is on, yes.
Oh, okay.
You can use somebody's arrows.
Nice.
And I'm not sure if we've allowed that with COVID restrictions being lifted. I know we've just allowed loaner gear to be used again. I'll have to ask about it tomorrow.
Josh shows up with his
that's on.
over there. Coughing.
And with reloading, Reeves, if they're pretty cool, will toss your arrows back to you as you're running around. But then there is the reload incantation for that, which takes you out of game, so you cannot be targeted. Yeah, the incantation, which is so annoying. I hope they fix it in 9th edition. It's I knocked my arrows to my bow. I let them fly. My quiver is low. Now I pause to go reload 3 times. And I go around. I say like retrieving or reloading as I'm kind of going around to let people know like, hey, I can't be targeted. Then you have to return to the exact spot and then say, my quiver is full, my quiver is full, my quiver is full. I've gotten fast at saying that, especially the reload and someone's going for it, you're like, crap.
Are you able to? So, like, I have these electronic headsets for when I go to like to the gun range. So, like, I can hear people that are like practically whispering like rows down, but like I won't hear the gunshot. Like, can you wear those at a LARP thing? So, like, I could like basically hear anyone and everyone. Like, all right, I only got 3 arrows. All right. I'm going after that guy. He's like,
only got 3 arrows, dude.
Probably not, no. Probably not.
But I cast a spell for better hearing.
I'm not sure there is a spell for it. No, not really. Just, you really have to shout loud to be heard within a certain distance. Like, I have to be heard within 20 feet for my reload. And a lot of it's, for some spells, are 50 feet.
well,
So you have to be able to be heard. So there's a lot of shouting that goes on.
It's like, how do you hear anything going on out there?
my workaround. I am going.
Like, I have to yell all my specialties. It's crazy.
I'm gonna just show up as like a Princess Leia with like giant fucking cinnamon buns on the side of.
Oh, you can totally do it. Nobody will judge.
Headphones on underneath.
I mean, we have people who regularly wear elf ears.
Yeah.
I actually like to wear a very particular earring.
Has anyone ever showed up as a centaur?
There are people who do that. There's not an art park, but yeah, they're like a full horseback body that they just roll around in.
Like some dudes in the back the whole
Yeah,
time,
who
just
did
sweating, running.
what
Yeah, I can direct you to a video actually where you can kind of see a guy actually running as a centaur.
That's dope.
That's like, we don't really do much in the way of races, but technically speaking, in Greenwood Keep lore, we are an elven keep, so we are elves. It's really funny because historically, Greenwood has had a lot of archers.
That's what elves are. Elves are mostly archers, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of archers running around for sure.
The Centaur split in half. Jacob said he kept getting farted on, and he just left.
I was thinking more. You got like too hot in there. He kept giving me a Dutch oven. I couldn't stand it anymore.
Now, my armor is black, so that's going to be interesting to run around in the summer.
Oh, good luck. Maybe
That's going to look cool, though.
Put tinfoil, make it reflective to blind your opponents so they don't see you coming.
Oh, jeez.
Dude. Well, apparently we can talk about LARPing forever, it seems like. So
Oh, for sure. There's an infinite amount of things. So there's a whole bunch of rules. We can start really getting into the crafting rules and all the awards. I can actually show you my awards.
Oh, we got awards.
An award?
Yeah, you get awards for crafting. You get orders within certain categories, which are listed on the app as well. So the big ones are... Hold them up.
We said Master LARPer, and you tried to contradict it.
I know,
you said
right?
You have awards.
There are people at my group who've been doing this for 20 years.
Well,
They're
they would be
not
Grandmaster. We just
Could be Grandmaster. Yeah, 2 years. You are Master LARPer. No, I've just been studying the rules a lot. And with getting into a more of a monarchy position, it's good to know these things.
If you haven't seen Role Models, you should definitely watch it. I feel like you would get a kick out of it.
I'll have to watch it all the way through now. I've only ever seen the clips. Because people are like, oh, like Role Models? I'm like, what?
It's such a-
YouTube? Oh, yeah, it's kind of like that.
You're like, oh, all right, yeah.
It literally depends on the group. It really does. Amtgard is international. So you can easily find a group near you.
So, like, if you were visiting Germany or something and wanted...
Yeah, I could go to a park there. Just sign in. They'll count my points for that. I'll actually get... I think I get 2 points for visiting.
That's actually really cool. That's super cool. That's dope.
And then there are the big events. So, like the tournaments, kingdom level events, which we call KLEs. You get extra points. Like, my third week was a KLE at our park, and I got 2 points. And anyone who was visiting got 3.
Does anybody ever get recruited to, like, try to leave the team they're on to go to a different one?
You're probably thinking fighting companies. There are fighting companies, and there are households, and it's really cool. I am a part of a household. I'm trying to get it off the ground. We're called House Vigilant. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, various awards. They're called ladder awards. So Crown, which is like monarchy stuff. Then we have, let's see, like, so the hardcore crafting ones. Yeah, Lion, Rose, and Smith. So Smith is the hardcore crafting one. Rose, I believe, is community centered. So doing stuff for the community, getting stuff set up and whatnot. But the big crafty ones are dragon, garber, and owl. I have one in garber and one in owl. And through dragon, garber, and owl, if I get 10 orders of any of them, I can be considered for serpent knighthood. No, it's masterhood and then knighthood. So it's one. So there are different knighthoods to go for, and that's the one I want to do because I don't want to go through all the stuff that is warrior. It's the most common way to go through it, but it's also the most intensive one, that's for sure. So this is my garber. This is for the first tabard I ever made.
Wow.
Winter Rain was fun. This was for owl. This was for the first legal arrow I've ever made.
No.
The first legal arrow.
First legal arrow. You crafted an arrow that isn't going to hurt people.
How many
Good job.
How many illegal ones did you have before the legal?
None. All of my arrows have been legal up until now.
Up until now.
Yeah, I was using a different gamma ball, and they're really weird to use. Really weird to use. And then also there's one specific to our keep that we've created. Because there's the Order of the Warrior, which is for the fighters. So we created one for the archers, which is the Order of the Hunter, which is literally picking up and using a bow safely on the field.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of awards you can get for... Oh, yeah. There's my heraldry.
Hey, that's
I like
cool.
that.
Full and proper. There's my old one that I made. Yeah, I got a little too intense with my first one.
I like the colors on that. That's some avalanche style.
Yeah, that's a very intense serpent. I decided to go simpler, mostly because it makes embroidering easier.
Avalanche, like the Colorado Avalanche, Josh? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, bro. What?
Yeah, a lot of this extra stuff with heraldry is kind of optional, but like it's cool to like make stuff with your heraldry on it.
Wait. What do you got a problem with my
I
avalanche?
just figured you would like a team closer to Florida, not Colorado.
Man, we got enough teams, man.
Dude, I was gonna say I was in Colorado, man, and there were so many Avs times that people would go through. So for me, I'm like, I'm good, man.
No, Avs are. Anyway, so
Yeah,
not about to talk sports. Sorry, you tried to lure me into sports talk. I see what you did there.
I mean, Amtgard is a combat sport. You could put that on your resume.
Yeah,
Makes you look active.
I'm gonna get into that, and
we
then
were
also,
already talking about sports with LARPing, so I didn't change it.
There is. I will mention this sport. There is like UFC, but where they're in full night gear, just bashing each other with shields. That's amazing. I love watching that.
That is, what was it in Russia when that was the one we saw?
Yeah, they were. It was probably a fight to the death. I don't really know. He didn't move in his armor. His armor didn't.
You guys really need to look up some of the big SCA events. We're talking full historical garb.
Oh, man.
And like very intricate, very expensive armor.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I definitely want to look into it now.
Yeah. So before we start to wrap up, I wanted to talk a little bit about these tarantulas.
Oh, the tarantulas. The topic that started all of this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This is the one thing that pushed it over the edge. We had to talk about the tarantulas.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, what got you into tarantulas, and when did you get your first one?
So I got these are, well, most of them are quarantine tarantulas. People got quarantine puppies, I got quarantine tarantulas. But I actually, in terms of being interested in more of like the exotic pets, it started with snakes.
I feel like that's a lot that's usually when people have tarantulas, they always have some sort of reptile.
Yeah, it's like I never kept a snake in my life, but I've always been interested in like the more of those I've always been interested in like, the reptiles, like dragons, dinosaurs. I actually kept a dead garter snake in my dresser at one point.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, I got ratted out real quick for that from one of my
reason?
sisters. Like Sammy's got a snake in her dresser. It's like,
was there a certain reason why you did that?
I don't remember the reason why anymore.
Okay.
But it happened. It was there.
All right. Fair enough.
But so yeah, I never kept one though. But it wasn't until I got a jumping spider during quarantine, like through the thick of it. I ordered a Phidippus regius female, and I had her for 8 months before she passed.
Oh.
Which jumping spiders, they don't live that long, but I was devastated because it was my first jumping spider, and that was
How
pretty
big
cool.
was it? I feel like any jumping
she
spider
was-
I've ever seen is like small. Like,
Oh, it is pretty small. So, like, did you like have it jump from one hand to another?
Yeah, I got her to do that. I trained her to do that. She would take food from my hand as well.
what? A spider?
Jumping spider. Jumping spiders are very visual because that's how they trap. They like lock on,
Dude.
and so yeah, I can kind of do it with my current one. I have a wild caught bulge jumping spider, Phidippus audax, who turned out to be female.
So, like, it could have jumped through a hoop if you wanted it to? You could have
If
trained
I
it to do
really
that?
managed to do it right, yeah, I probably could. I don't know. February is pretty well. She's wild caught. She's a little more skittish than Sheila was, who was captive bred.
So, what
I'm-
kind of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm thinking there needs to be like a tarantula circus.
Dude, I was literally going to say we've
You will not be able to get a
circuses.
tarantula to do stuff like that at
I
all.
was going to ask, so, like, what can you get a tarantula to do?
Pretty much eat, maybe.
So, what was so fascinating to you that wanted you to get tarantulas? Because a jumping spider jumping from hand to hand sounds pretty cool.
You can definitely handle a jumping spider if they let you, but yeah, tarantulas. I just have the general rule of thumb: don't handle them. And I have 3 old worlds,
So
and
you don't handle them.
I do not handle those ones. No.
Okay.
So the difference between New World and Old World is New World, that's the Americas. I have a Euthecalus calinica, which is the Venezuelan orange and bronze. So that's a New World. And New Worlds have something called urticating hairs. It's on their abdomen, and they just kick them. And they're like harpoons, and they stick into your skin, into your eye if you're so unlucky.
Oh my god.
And they itch, think stinging nettle.
Whoa.
It's like that. And it depends on how allergic you are. And actually, the more you're exposed to it, the worse it gets.
What?
So, okay, so tarantulas are a lot more dangerous than I thought, apparently.
Yeah, no tarantula can kill you.
None?
There's like one maybe death, but like the situation was really weird.
Do they bite?
Oh yeah, they can totally bite you. You
And
push
they're
them
not
far enough, they will
poisonous?
bite.
Does it just hurt because they're bigger?
It depends actually. This is where we get to the other difference.
Have you
So
ever-
New Worlds, urticating hairs, less potent venom. Old Worlds, no urticating hairs, far more potent venom, and they're fast.
So if they don't kill, how come you don't handle them?
Yeah.
I'd rather not get bit because it's
Or
gonna
poked.
hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, or poked by those it's like a porcupine.
like-
I would almost feel like you. I would.
Well, they're tiny little urticating hairs, so you kind of can't see them unless you really look for it. You can just pull them out, but it'll hurt an itch. But no, yeah, Old World venom, which is basically Europe, Asia, Africa, the Indian continent, the islands.
So that's why they're called old worlds compared to new worlds.
It's the Old World versus the New World, so they different evolution. Old Worlds grow a lot more slowly; they take years.
Okay.
New Worlds grow a lot faster. They are a lot faster, and it's a more potent venom. My first tarantula was the Pteronoculus marinus, which is the orange baboon tarantula, the Mombasa golden starburst, or as everyone likes to call it, the orange bitey thing.
You called it an orange baboon. Does it have a red ass?
Or orange.
Orange. It is one of the orangest spiders you will see.
Is it?
And it's my favorite color, so I couldn't resist. And I did my research before getting spook. I really did, I promise. And I've had no problems.
It's an
with that
orange baboon spider. Does it have a red What?
Because a baboon has red.
Yeah,
The
but
rest of
it's
it can be orange. I don't know. I just wanted to
No,
know
it's
that.
all orange. It's just a baboon like that, like rare horned baboons, tarantulas with horns. They're
It's
unicorns.
like with at the daycare for me for a kid would be like, yes, good try. Let's try it again. It's an orange baboon. So what color do you think it would be, Johnny?
Whoa.
Green.
Oh man. All right.
No, if you think of any color, there's a tarantula like that.
All right, sorry.
There are pink tarantulas, there are purple tarantulas, there are
How
green
long-
tarantulas, there are
How long
tricolored tarantulas.
is their lifespan normally?
That depends on the gender.
Ooh, so
The
that's
gender.
that was the question I was going to
That
ask.
depends on the gender.
In the Discord community, you were talking about genders and how you can tell. So can you go through that?
Yeah,
process?
sexing the mold. So,
Yeah, that was
so
crazy.
So basically, boys and girls, they have little like abdomen slits near the book lungs. So from a ventral view, you can see that. So both of them have it, but only girls have the little spermathecae, and they look different generally depending on the species. OBTs are notorious for looking really weird. But my Heteroscodra maculata, my Togo starburst, she is a girl because I looked at her molt because that is the only way to confirm a sex is you need the molt and you need to look under the microscope. And she has like little prongs near that slit near the anterior book lungs, and that's what collects the little. God, it's like the guys have like this little like webbing of sperm that they put into that slit, and it collects on the spermathecae. And then as long as the female doesn't molt and that all goes away, hopefully it's a successful pairing. You'll get an egg sac.
Didn't you say that the females sometimes eat the male?
Yeah, you can lose the male, absolutely.
Wow.
It's a really common spider thing that So it's the very tense thing. It's like, okay, hopefully it's successful and hopefully I still have the male.
Man.
Amateur males do not live very long. So using my HMAC as a reference, the males live for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And Ivory, as a girl, will live for about 12 to 15.
Sounds about right.
It's a huge gap.
Sounds about right.
So when you get in that, you're like, you're not going to live very long, and hopefully I can send you to somebody who can breed you.
Do they all eat the same? Between
Basically, they all eat very much the same things. I mostly feed them waxworms because they're far easier to deal with than crickets.
Yeah.
I just keep them in the fridge, and they're good. I have a mini fridge on my desk for that.
Those are worms made of wax, right?
No, so they have like a very waxy feeling. I can pull one up for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, February is big enough now that she's eating waxworms too.
So yeah, what are all of your tarantulas' names? You have
So,
four, right? You have 4?
I have 4. Okay, so here is a waxworm.
I totally thought that was like a mealworm or something.
No, mealworms are a lot bigger and they're a darker color.
Okay.
Do they fight over food? Are they all in the same like?
No, you do not keep tarantulas together. They will fight each
I don't
other.
know. I figured. So
They are territorial, except, well, recently what's been a big trend are communal setups. You will hear of this, and you will be interested. So the M. balfours, I believe, are an old world species that you can theoretically, from the same egg sac, keep communally. And I think the trick is to keep them in a close enough space where they don't develop their own territories.
So they're just a bunch of inbred spiders that get along with each other.
No, they do not breed with each other.
No, they're from the same.
The males will die long before the females will.
They'd be.
You can actually put in new males.
Right? They'd
You
be
get egg
siblings.
sacs.
Yeah, they'd be
Yeah,
siblings.
they're all siblings. That's actually a big evolutionary thing about spiders in the egg sac. The males die sooner, that way they don't breed with the females, because the females will mature later than the males.
Okay, so they will mate with other families.
Yeah, no, there is no inbreeding. That's an evolutionary breaker, little checks and balance there.
Have any of them ever broken out of their cages or their?
Oh, Christ. Fucking specter.
Oh God! How can you?
Rehousings are interesting.
Can you walk us through how the panic set when you came home and realized he was not?
So this happened with all of my old worlds. Oh, jeez. They're fast. They're bolty things. That's what I like to call Spook. Spook is let's go through the names real quick. So Spook is my OBT.
Okay.
And it got that name because I moved it into the new enclosure because it was in... I actually still have that dram vial. I have a zebra jumping spider in it right now. And this is what Spook was in initially, a little dram vial.
Okay.
And I'm going to say he because that's what you assume until you get told otherwise. It says either, oh, you are male, or great, you're female.
There was nothing in that jar, right? Because I
No, there is a zebra jumping spider, and they're way too small for
What,
camera.
a zebra jumping spider?
That's a native species here with the Phidippus regis. It's what's the name of the species?
I'm
I'm
waiting to
surprised
see a
you
spider,
even,
and I'm gonna
like-
get the creepy crawlies on me. I'm like,
I'm surprised you memorize these names. I mean, one of them you said.
I have labels, and I just stare at them. That's the best way to learn. That's like, because a lot of them will have like similar starting. Like, I have a Pteronoculus marinus and a Poecilotheria striata. Both start with P.
jeez.
So you just like, they're like, so you got P striata, P marinus. So it's to help separate the species when talking to other people. So they're just really good to know.
Pretty
Spider
sure you
one,
almost
spider
just
two.
said like penis, like Pia Marinus. That's whoever's making these names up. They're
Blame
fucking
taxonomists. We get mad
They
at
had
them
to-
too when they change names.
They had to keep.
We're like, I have to relabel everything again. God damn it.
If it wasn't entertaining, they wouldn't have kept doing it, right? So they had to.
Oh, for sure.
throw
There
some
was
innuendos in
some
there.
old Disney movie I was trying to think of because one of the ones that you named off, it sounds like what this girl would always say, Zetus Lepidus.
Zetus Lepidus.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
cannot
spider.
for the life of me remember the name of the movie right now.
I have to put it in the chat when you do. But continuing,
it was
before we go off on a whole nother tangent.
Right.
So Spook got that name because it was my first time rehousing. It was the notorious OBT tarantula.
Uh-huh.
So I got the drum body prepared. Everything was set up, ready to go. Just kind of nudge him out. Books it across the thing onto the desk, and I'm like, "What'd I do?" And it was a whole thing for the next hour getting that tarantula into the enclosure with catch cups. So I was spooked. It was spooked. We were all spooked. Spook. Self-explanatory.
See, I'm like, I lose my mind when a wasp is in the house. Jordan would go home, babe. There's
I know you would
tarantula
spray.
over
One of these
there."
days, I will do a full video of me rehousing one of my tarantulas.
Oh, that'd be.
I have 3 others that'll need to be rehoused eventually.
Are any of them easy to show to the camera without being a pain in the ass?
Let's see who's out.
Okay.
Let's see who's out.
They're all big enough to be shown.
All right, folks.
Oh,
Now is the time if you have
And
arachnophobia.
yep, it's still 3 out of 4,
leave.
which is nice.
Here comes the spider. So if you don't
They're
want,
all
And if you
3 out
don't
of
know
4.
what arachnophobia is, stick around. You'll find out.
So you'll find out if you are or not. This is the test.
Arachnophobia. What about?
Fear of podcasts.
Podcast. Maybe the same thing as the fear of talk shows. Okay, so let's see who is not going to panic on me.
For those of you that aren't watching, Josh is going to do the commentary for each spider.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's do a wide shot of the shelf.
Let us out of here.
Yeah, no, they're all not getting let out. So this is where Spectre got moved into. Spectre's rehouse was super interesting. That is a huge cork round cut in half.
Okay.
Dude,
And hiding on the other side of it. Oh no!
I'd put
Oh,
a
yeah, I can
hole in
kinda
the
see 'em.
door on there.
Dude, right? Is it like?
So I can kind of see Spectre chilling right there. I can't see him.
This is gonna be one of those videos where it jumps at
Like super high.
Yeah, right.
All right, so going up, you should be able to see Spook chilling right there.
I see him.
Yeah, it's not the best camera in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's Spectre.
Which one's the one that has the like yellow back or whatever that was shown?
You mean
Oh,
the
yeah.
orange?
Oh, you
buffoon?
don't have the orange pepper.
Orange. See, Spook.
Bringing it back.
And then let's see if you can see. So Ivory is right here.
Yeah, I see the outline. Oh,
See
moved.
Yeah, little
He moved.
Oh, he
female. And then the tricky one.
Dude, that's like the silhouette of an alien from
Oh.
the movie.
Here, I can probably get her to move.
Oh shit.
So I can get her to move.
And is she in old world or a new world?
She's in Old World. She's from Africa. And
Now it's about to pop out. She's
Oh god. Oh no.
there she goes.
I would be terrified every single
There you go. We got some movement footage.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, then you might not be able to see this one.
Like
So
hiding
if you can kind of see, right there is my Venezuelan orange and bronze.
I see a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to get that one to move right now.
No worries.
Yeah, I think here it's shifted this way.
I think I'm gonna insert like a little spider popping out.
Okay. So yeah, this might be better. How's this?
Maybe. I think I see it. I'm really.
Yeah, that one blends in pretty well.
I don't want to get closer to the screen. I'm scared.
Don't worry, there are several thousand miles between us. You're fine.
That's what you say.
That is what I say. They don't leave those enclosures unless it's
Spiders and sorcery go hand in hand.
Well, not just that, but I read that like on average in a human life, you were almost always within 5 feet of some spider.
Yeah. There are a bunch of mouse spiders everywhere. I actually have one.
Was it? I read it. I read it on the bottom of the Snapple cap once that you swallow a spider like once every like 3 or 4 nights or something. And Snapple's never wrong. Okay.
Mine takes a
little. No one ever has to fact check Snapple.
Yeah, like that extra protein.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I build my immunity up to venomous spiders. I eat them at night.
All right. So Spectre is a Pisotherus striata, aka a pokey. Which comes with the whole fun thing of you gotta catch them all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There are a lot of different pokey species, so it's really funny. They're from India and Sri Lanka.
Ooh.
So like Ivory, Ivory and Spectre are going to be very gray tarantulas, gray-white. And then the Venezuelan orange and bronze, basically a bronze carapace and legs with like some orange on the edges. And an orange booty, and then Spook's gonna be a straight orange. Like the brightest freaking orange ever.
So when he gets out, at least you can see where he's running around too.
I usually see him about every day. And like other people saying, I haven't seen mine in 3 months. And I'm like, nothing I can do about that.
You're doing something wrong.
I'm glad to be able to see basically at least all of my tarantulas once a day, and I don't have to be up till like 2 a.m. to do that. So that was how I saw my Venezuelan orange and bronze for the first time. It was 1 a.m. I needed to, I forgot something, so I had to grab it, turn on the light. You're alive! I didn't buy a box of dirts. Which is great.
Yeah,
all right, but back to the storytelling.
Next time you do the transferring or moving them, I'd definitely be interested to see that.
Well, I could do a video of that for sure.
How terrifying is it having to like get it back into a jar? Like, ugh, I wouldn't want to. Can tarantulas jump?
You'd be surprised. Tarantulas can swim.
I didn't want to know that.
Wait, what?
I didn't.
There's like this huge thing in the tarantula community with newbies, like, oh, like don't give them like big deep water dishes or anything, they're gonna drown. I'm like, I have video evidence of a Mexican red rump swimming across the river.
That just terrifies me now to go into any other water. Like I was already looking at snakes in the water out here.
It's like the tarantula's not gonna drown.
We were on a float trip and we were all in the water chilling. Some like person screamed down the way and we're all looking. There's this snake just chilling in the water, like and stuff. Now next time we're gonna scream, there's gonna be a tarantula.
There's gonna be a tarantula just like, hey, how's it going? The wiggle.
Like,
that's crazy.
Like, yo.
At least you know that none of them can kill you.
All right, so Spectre's Reed House was interesting.
That doesn't make it not terrifying, Josh. You're telling me if you were in the water and a tarantula swam up and you're like out of the water and somebody's like, bro, what's that on your shoulder? There's a tarantula.
Oh no, the couple who found it who saw it going were like freaking out. Dude, it's hilarious. It's memed across the community now. It's great. I'll send you the video.
Man,
I would do absolutely nothing other than blackout. So.
Josh, I think there's a tarantula back home.
Yeah.
All right, he's gone.
Well, we've lost him.
All right, so Spectre, obviously, because it's a synonym of ghost, and it's just, I like the name Spectre, so that's pretty cool. Ivory, because, the ivory of elephants, she's from Africa. She's going to be a very white and gray tarantula. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. And the Venezuelan orange and bronze has yet to be named. That's the newest one. I got that one back in June for my birthday.
Venezuelan orange and bronze, huh? Okay.
So eventually there'll be a name, might be based off of personality, habits, anything particularly of note.
Yeah.
Or if it actually, I told my sister, if it ends up being a girl, I'm naming it after her friend, who's terrified of spiders.
There you go.
Instead of Phoenix Rising, Phoenix Crawling.
Hey.
That's a good one.
Whoa.
There's some cool names going for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, but what Spectre did though for this free house, just on the glass, okay, just kind of lower it down, just get some water going. Books are across the side around to the back of the enclosure on the bookshelf, and I'm like, do you know how heavy that thing is to move? So shift it around, get the catch cup, just slowly get them back in, and just yeah, we're done here.
Wait, so do tarantulas make webs too?
Oh yeah, you've seen Spook's enclosure now. That's webbed the heck up.
Yeah. Okay.
And some tarantula species will web up. We call them web palaces. How extensive they get.
Does each tarantula species, do they do the different types of webs, or is it all the one type?
Pretty much all the one.
The one type.
There's a lot of mats and connection points and whatnot. So yeah, Ivory's gonna web up a lot. It's new enclosure, so Spectre hasn't done too much.
What's the reason for it? Just to make it cozier,
or? So you know how trapdoor spiders work?
Oh god, I hate those things. Dude, I used to be scared when I was a kid when I first heard about those. I was
trapdoor spiders are not really
jumping through the doorways because I was like,
have you seen camelbacks?
Yeah.
Oh, these spiders! Who made these?
It's what evolution approved of this?
Yeah. Why did we do this?
Yeah.
We want to talk about weird evolution. We got to talk about crabs.
It's a sea spider.
Those are weird.
A sea spider.
Especially the spider crab.
Yeah.
We're talking 10 feet long.
Do you know that there's crabs that bleed blue? Their blood is legit blue.
Crabs are technically immortal
until once it hits oxygen or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen those.
I mean, that's why our blood turns red. It hits the oxygen.
Yeah, why are my veins blue?
Because there's no oxygen really.
Blood is
Other than what's being passed around in your red blood cells.
Yeah, but their blood comes.
But don't quote me at that. My mom is the nurse practitioner, not me.
Here's a new conspiracy. We're all actually aliens who bleed blue, but we're all injected with something that makes our blood react, so we don't freak out holy shit, I'm an alien, I'm bleeding blue.
I think we're all just crab people if our blood is blue on the inside.
That'd be cool.
I don't need that image. I see enough weird concept art already.
Crab people.
I get enough with the lizard people theories. I don't need crab people.
I don't need crab people in this, dude. There's the mole people that live under Las Vegas. You heard that one?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Crazy. That one's insane. We watched a documentary. All right, we're getting way off topic. Sorry.
Well, it's cool.
No, that was straightforward. Resource I've had was Ivory. That was very just straightforward, just kind of bolted into the enclosure and just frozen. I'm cool, lid on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting. I am the one who decided to get 3 old worlds first. And so they're the really bolty slings and juveniles that like to move.
Have you?
I get the deadly ones first.
Have you ever?
Yeah, that was on the Reddit thread. It's hey, I got this tarantula. They got any other advice. They're so normally people don't get that one, but okay.
That's what I did.
Now that you've done this, here's some advice.
Have you ever used them in any pranks at all?
No, I do use them as guard dogs. My siblings do not enter my room.
Oh, that's good.
I'd do so.
So yeah, they're better than a dog. Just get tarantulas and just have them very prominently on a bookshelf when you open the door.
So how long does it take you? If you can't find one in the little home that you have for it, how long until you realize oh shit, it's out?
Oh no, they are all latched and locked. There are stories though. Actually, there are some funky stories of tarantulas actually being strong enough to actually open and push things open.
I mean, are they
and getting out?
Are they smarter than other spiders because they're bigger, or is that
not particularly smarter?
No.
At least I don't know. I'm not an expert on the intelligence of arachnids. I just know what's kind of been floating around in terms of somewhat new research. I mean, we barely know anything about tarantula medical science. Because, we in the hobby love them and want to make sure they're well cared for, but they're not dogs. They're not expressive at all. So usually by the time you realize something is wrong, it is far too late to do anything about it. Because they do not show it all unless it's super visible to you. So you just kind of plan the enclosures appropriately, like enough substrate high up to where if they fall, like they're not going to get hurt. Abdomens are actually very rough. It's a very pressurized water balloon. So if that ruptures, oh boy.
Dang.
And you can easily. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people are against handling because of that. They are fragile, regardless of they're tougher as adults, but drop them from like 3 feet, that'll hurt. 2 feet.
I remember going on all those field trips to museums and stuff as a kid, and there's the person like with a tarantula, and you can hold it. I'm so glad I never went and held it.
Yeah, he was probably has a New World in hand. Probably. I don't know. What was it? What did it look like?
It was usually like the generic, like brownish one.
Brownish was like very curly hairs.
I didn't get close to it.
I don't know. It was just it was there, and I wasn't getting near it.
Was it a tarantula? No, I'm gonna go the other way. See you.
It was probably a New World. Those ones are generally more docile. Again, specimen to specimen. I've heard of hunter and curly hairs being like absolutely nasty. Yeah, but generally, New Worlds are just the more easygoing.
They are nasty. I mean,
So do you ever just go in and like give it a little pet? You don't do that either?
Spectre wouldn't move. Like I was putting, so I used to paint.
She plays a trick on you. You're like, I've never used them in a prank, but they prank me all the time.
Oh, no, they give. I've gotten like, dudes. So Ivory, when I was refilling a water dish, she was just chilling next to the little bottle cap. I chilling, like, okay, you're not moving, you're cool. So I fill the water dish. She slaps it and books it for her den, and I'm like, why? I mean, I've seen tarantulas attack water before when it's being filled, but like, holy crap. Some will flip dishes. Yeah, it gets you can get sass from tarantulas 100%. But no, with Spectre, that I was like full on putting pressure on the abdomen. Not a whole lot, but like I could like brush and just put it move. And I'm like, you need to move. You're 3 inches. You get an upgrade. It's a bigger height. You'll love it. Complete darkness. Just I mean, it all depends. Like usually. Well, again, specimen to specimen, but you try to plan your best for a nice, simple, okay, in one and out of one into the other. There's like a whole host of methods of doing this. Like, I actually flooded Spectre out of his old enclosure. I just kept filling water up and up and up. It was on the lid. I'm like, okay, we're just going to put you here and then just go on. We're going.
Well,
And move.
I'm very much looking forward to the rehoming video.
I know, it depends on who gets it. I'm thinking... I know, it depends on if who gets to that 3-inch first. Either Spook or Ivory. Spook's getting close. Spook recently molted. I think Spook's at like the 2.5 mark.
He
now.
molted.
2-inch, 2 1/4.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us and throwing the little not throwing the tarantulas around, but you know, like
throwing the tarantulas around. Oh, geez, I would get so much hate.
showing them around, and I that's really cool. And we'll definitely have all links to your like anything, your websites.
Yeah, just all the socials. This is where you can find me.
Stats, yeah.
I'm pretty active on Instagram. You'll see more photos of the tarantulas there and feeding clips.
Ooh.
And feeding clips.
Josh, we're gonna have to do a future episode of us going like LARPing together.
100%. I'm down.
We could have Sam be a special guest, and I'll go.
I'll
showing us the reins.
Like try and braid this and like put like one of those nice little metal buckles on the bottom of it.
See, I was thinking we could go as like Mario and Luigi or something, but yeah, that works too.
All right.
Fireball.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tonight I'll post in more pictures of my armor. I'll be putting the side buckles on of what the progress looks like now. You'll see more progress on there too, just throughout the Instagram timeline.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's really
awesome.
Cool.
Well, we look forward to it, and
yeah,
thank you again for coming on the show. It was an awesome time.
Yeah, this is great.
I'm gonna say it before you, Josh. Everybody, stay mindless.
Don't think too hard.
Stay mindless. Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.